Today we'll just discuss a little bit about Gibbs free energy, the equation, and just a few things going over it. It's of course not the most in depth, but it's just the basics, very basics. Gibbs free energy is measured with this equation: delta G equals delta H minus T delta S. This just simply means change in, change in. And of course, my handwriting is not the best, so you may have to watch this a few times listening to me. Sorry. H is enthalpy, S entropy. If delta H increases with increasing delta G increases with increasing delta H, which of course is bond energy. And of course, delta G decreases with increasing entropy. Just remember that. Favorable means it's of course spontaneous, and delta G is negative. Unfavorable is non-spontaneous, delta G is positive. Delta G is negative is an exergonic reaction, which means energy exits the system. When you touch something that's warm, and the positive delta G is energonic. Energy has to be added to the system. A negative delta G means that the system goes from a lower free energy state, it goes to a lower free energy state. Yes, I wrote this down on everything, and I'm just trying to read what I wrote. Sorry. But anyways, this is basically just the basic stuff. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. You do need to make sure you understand this and review it as much as you can for your biochemistry. If you're taking MCAT and stuff like this, you're really going to need to know this. Delta H is enthalpy, delta S is entropy, delta G increases with increasing delta H, which is bond energy, and decreases with increasing entropy. Favorable is spontaneous, and delta G is negative. Non-spontaneous is unfavorable, and delta G is positive. Negative delta G is exergonic, which means that energy is leaving the system. Positive delta G is energonic. And of course, another thing you need to know, whether or not something's positive or negative delta G does not mean that you see the reaction, it's going to just happen right there. You may have to, wait a little bit. But it just means basically you don't have to add a lot of energy to it to get it started. When you learn this stuff, you'll get a much better understanding. Thanks.